Hello, investors, and welcome back to Just Randy Stocks. I want to take a look at a stock with you that I covered about 30 days ago, and that is Siyata Mobile, SYTA. They raised $20 million in a dilutive public offering, meaning anytime you dilute shareholders, you're going to offer more shares. That is going to hurt the share price in the immediate term, but in the long term, they could be raising capital to help fund projects and ultimately get a bigger return ultimately down the road. So 8.7 million equity units, each including one common share and one warrant to buy another share at $2.30 a piece. That was well below last Thursday's closing price of $3.23. Now, 5 million shares outstanding, said the 5-year warrants are immediately exercisable at $2.30 a share. Gross proceeds of about $20 million from the offering, which it'll be used to repay part of its senior secured convertible promissory note and for general corporate purposes. So that's what's caused this downward pressure on the price. At 46%, it's even more than that. I think it went down to $1.68. And with the CPI information that's coming out on Wednesday, if inflation is going to be high, it's going to be recorded high for December, which is the expectation. Make sure you do your own due diligence. It could send stocks in general down even further. So this is at the technical charts on this one are saying buy at this flat rate right now, but there could be a better buying opportunity if you really want to be greedy with your money, which you should be. I mean, it's your money, but this is definitely a buy low. It has not seen these levels. And this is one that just from a technical perspective, like I said before, we're going to take a look at the charts. It is saying by the RSI indicator is just screaming. So this is one that loves to bounce back, and I think it's got reason to. It just needs a little bit. It needs a little catalyst, and then it's got that potential. So I've already went through this one before, but I do want to show you what's got me excited. SYTA is the ticker symbol. This was trading at $3.41 in November. Now, this is trying to solve the problem of there being 10,000 different incompatible LMR networks that are used by first responders in the US, the land mobile radio. So this is going from radio towers to cellular towers. And a big customer here is AT&T. Now, back in 2017, they had a $100 billion government grant to create FirstNet, a broadband LTE network in the United States operated by AT&T that was going to help to streamline, bring up the 5G network. I know y'all have heard about all of this happening. I mean, AT&T has a huge portion of this, so maybe I really need to do a video on AT&T and what they look like. But I will tell you that this one is a penny stock, so there are risks in this play. Now, they have developed this UV350, and it's the only dedicated in-vehicle POC device that's certified FirstNet ready to use, FCC, all of that stuff that has to happen for this to be adopted. It's all been checked out. In this investor presentation, all the information's in here. Now it's 1, 2, 3, very compatible, easy to understand, distinct product categories, in-vehicle devices, rugged handsets, and cellular boosters. 40% gross margin, that is good for an actual product. I'll tell you, from 25% to 40% and moving into the North America sector, it's just a matter of time before more press release, news release comes out that has this adoption and that they've captured more product. Now, I can't tell you the exact timing that it's going to happen, but last month, and this was mainly in Europe, the EMEA region, they had received a $1.3 million purchase order for their SD7 ruggedized device and accessories. So this is actually happening, and I think things are going to turn around for the company, but because of COVID, it's pushed some of the spending in these areas down the road. I think it happens this year. Now, of course, the 12-month price target, we'll talk about that, and it's at $10. So that's almost a 500% return. And even if you get half of that, or if the analysts decide to downgrade their price target to half of that, I mean, you're still talking about over a 200% return here. Now, I wanted to go through the volume because I think volume is a strong indicator of what's going on. Now, on December 7th, when they announced that news, this was sitting at about 450. This went all the way up to about 720. And that was that 150% return. This one got on my radar. And I said, for the last couple of spikes that this had, when this thing runs, it runs like crazy hard. So I think that you're really mitigating your risk under $1.69. But just like I said before, this Wednesday, December 2021 CPI data are scheduled to release on January 12th, 2022 at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before the market opens, they're going to release this new CPI data for December. So January 12th could possibly be a better opportunity to sit back and watch. Say, Randy, I don't want a penny stock in my portfolio. I want to look at something that's bigger. But I'm just letting you know, AT&T FirstNet brings 5G to more first responders across the country. Dallas, August 16th, 2021. I mean, this is $100 billion over 25 years. And that's what this article says right here. FirstNet, the contract 25-year agreement to build a national broadband network, value first 5 years is $6.5 billion to build out the network. So this is happening. I mean, of course, this was back in 2017, and there may have been some setbacks in doing this. And I think this is where you're going to start seeing that spend on the 5G network. And of course, this is a 4G device. Now, looking at the company's financials, they have been going down. And I would say that justifies the price being in the $3 range for as long as it was. But I see this turning around and coming back to pre-pandemic levels, and there being some spend with construction and with first responders to help standardize exactly what they have. Now, on the analyst price targets, some of these might be outdated. This is the beginning of last year, but they had a price target up here of, average price target of $15 or high of 15, low of 15. I mean, you see the whole thing is kind of messed up, but they had this as a buy, and in tip ranks it was $10. So I'm not trying to overemphasize or pump this, but I think that this is one, if you look at the technical charts, we'll look at it in just a minute, you'll see that this has definite room to move up, especially if some news comes out. So December 2nd, just make sure you're not seeing the same news circulate again. Their SD7 ruggedized device, there's $550 million or $550,000 in a contract there. They had 1.3 million, and this news came out again at the beginning of this year at January 6th. So same information last month, but customers from the US, they're starting to capture these numbers in Q4, so their Q4 numbers could look much better. So they haven't moved into the US market, so not only the bigger gross margins for this product, but they haven't really taken as much. In an interview that the CEO did with Bazinga, they said that he's expecting for them to do even more than they did in the EMEA region in the North America sector. So here's the price action right here. You can see I've got this in the 30-minute chart. You could put this in the 4-hour chart, and it's still sitting below this RSI indicator down here, saying that it is getting primed for another spike. Now, of course, some kind of catalyst has to happen, but you can see when this takes off, it takes off. This has taken off multiple times within this last, I would say, what is this, back here in October? It took off 3 different times, 4 different times. This has been flat. It's been dipping in the morning, taking that 8%, 6% dip, and then it goes flat the rest of the day. So it really provides you a real good baseline, and I believe it's going to continue to do this. Just stay flat unless that CPI data comes out, pushes all the market down, and you could wait. If you really want to mitigate your risk, wait till Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, see how the market responds to that inflation data. It could be good or bad. Nobody knows yet. And that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next video.